Am I recording? Hello again, it's me Chaz back with another video. This one is overdue, but this is my OFC World Cup 2026 qualifiers. As we now know, there is one nation from the OFC that has now qualified for the 2026 World Cup in Mexico, USA and Canada. That is New Zealand. They were able to defeat first Fiji 7-0 and then beat New Caledonia. Very tough first half for them, but they managed to pull through, scored 3 goals in the second half to qualify for the World Cup. New Caledonia have managed to reach the World Cup Interconfederation playoff matches, so they have another chance to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Right, so last year, right at the end, New Zealand, Tahiti, Fiji and New Caledonia all came first and second in their groups. So in Group A, it was New Caledonia and Fiji that qualified from their group. And in Group B, it was New Zealand and Tahiti. The winner of Group A went up against the runners-up of Group B. That's New Caledonia came up against Tahiti, and the winner of Group B came up against the runner-up of Group A. So New Zealand played Fiji. These games took place on the 21st of March, both in the Sky Stadium in Wellington, New Zealand. New Caledonia and Tahiti started off goalless first half between New Caledonia and Tahiti, but second half, New Caledonia opened up the scoring. Finner Page for New Caledonia scored. Keeper made a great save first, but off his line. Page Luke, and he scores in the 50th minute. 15 minutes later, he adds a second. Again, sees the keeper off his line. Long distance, made it 2-0, and that's his third goal in total in qualifiers. And 1 minute into extra time, second half, Weah slips, but gets his shot away, makes it 3-0, and makes sure that New Caledonia reach the final of the 2026 OFC World Cup qualifying round. There was a red card right at the end. City challenge keep away. It was pointless. So that's a red card for him for Tahiti. And that was the end of his tournament and Tahiti's chances of qualifying for the 2026 World Cup. The next semi-final was between New Zealand and Fiji. This was a comfortable 7-0 win for New Zealand over Fiji. Chris Woods got a hat-trick in this game. He opened up the scoring for New Zealand with a headed effort. Singh also scored in the 60th minute. That is the second goal in qualifying. Bidden scored a couple of minutes later. That is also his second goal. And the fourth goal in the first half, paid in the 32nd minute. So 4-0 in the first half for New Zealand over Fiji. Woods got the fifth goal, for New Zealand in the 56th, and then scored again in the 60th minute, which again completed his hat trick, and that's his 9th goal in 4 games in qualifying. I believe he also scored a back-to-back hat trick as well for New Zealand. Crazy. And finally, Barbaros scored in the 73rd minute. There was a missed penalty. Wayne in the 88th minute. It was a penalty. But regardless, easy win for New Zealand, scoring so many goals at this World Cup qualifier. It's been really easy for them. So the final Suspension was between New Caledonia and New Zealand a few days later. The match took place on the 24th of March in Eden Park, Auckland, again in New Zealand. The winner of this match was New Zealand. They did beat New Caledonia 3-0. What was up for grabs was the very first time a team from the OFC could get a guaranteed World Cup spot. New Zealand managed to get that. This was New Zealand's hardest challenge though. In the very first half, very tough for New Zealand to break down New Caledonia, and even New Caledonia did have their chances. Chris Woods was taken off injured just before New Zealand did get their goal. He's been fine since though. He's been playing well for Nottingham Forest, so there's no issue there now, but back in March he was injured for a bit. That didn't stop New Zealand. Boxall scored in the 61st minute, opening the scoring for New Zealand. Another headed effort. A few minutes later, they score again. Barbarossa scored his second goal, so that's 2 goals back to back for him. And this is a common thing what I noticed from New Zealand when they do end up scoring, at least in the OFC World Cup qualifiers, that they manage to score again because the other team just loses shape. If New Caledonia could have sort of just get the 1-0 and relax a bit more, maybe the second goal wouldn't have went in and they would have been able to regroup and have another chance. Finally though, just in the 80th minute, finished the game off for New Zealand, and now New Zealand have joined the host nations, Mexico, Canada and the USA, and have qualified for the World Cup. So good for them. This is now only the 3rd World Cup they have qualified for now. Yep, the last World Cup they qualified was in 2010 in South Africa. So it's been a while for them. New Caledonia, as I mentioned, they do have another chance. They have made it to the Interconfederation World Cup playoffs, where there's still another 2 spots up for grabs. That said, there's more likely they're going to go up against teams that are higher ranked than New Zealand. So it's going to be even tougher for them to qualify for the World Cup. But we'll see what happens with New Caledonia. For New Zealand though, fantastic win for them. And to be fair, I don't think it's surprising. They've overwhelmingly been better than all the other nations in the OFC. And I've been hearing like some people for years have been making the argument that New Zealand will probably need to start moving to the AFC, just like Australia did back in, I believe, 2006. With the guaranteed spot now up for grabs in the OFC, if this continues in the future, it's likely that New Zealanders will mostly get that spot, and it's a guaranteed spot for them. So maybe they might change it in the future. I don't know. We'll see. I'll definitely look into it. My opinion, I think they're maybe give it another shot, in the next World Cup qualifiers in 2030. We see what happens then. But it was fun checking out this OFC World Cup qualifiers. I've found out about a few more countries that I've never actually heard about before. So that's been fun. For example, Vanuatu looks absolutely beautiful. Maybe one day I'll try and go there if I can. That'd be cool. But yeah, New Zealand, great for them. New Caledonia have another chance. We'll see. I could only see positive for the OFC, for the Oceania in the future. This is good with at least 1 spot for them. Hopefully next time, maybe the other nations have a better shot. But this is good, at least for New Caledonia. They'll be up against tougher competition, so they might have more experience in the future. But this has been I think this World Cup qualifiers has been a good showing of the teams from the Oceania. Alright, that was my OFC World Cup 2026 semi-final and final review. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. I guess this will be my last of the OFC videos I'm making. I probably won't do one last video that shows all of the 13 nations of the OFC that did compete and how New Zealand did manage to qualify in the end. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it as usual. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thanks again. And